Hello everyone, happy Sunday. So I had a little time before a client, so I wanted to check into Elon Musk's, oh God, ketamine, King Ketamine, I don't know, what do we call him? I want to look at his April. And I have been shuffling for quite some time and allowed for reversals. I'm just kind of fine-tuning to sit in his energy for a minute. Right there. Whoa. Okay. Big changes. Big changes coming in. His big challenge is that, wow, it's so amazing having two majors. So Death card is big changes and transitions, of course. The Hermit, when it comes through as a challenge card, it has the problem of being isolated and feeling lonely, maybe having headaches, maybe going through withdrawal from drugs, possibly on a health level, appendicitis, or, intestinal issues, spleen issues. But most of all, well, actually too, sometimes it can be an acute illness, and other times it can just be like, flu or a virus or something, or bronchitis or an earache. But on the spiritual level, it's from I'm not going to say that all the illnesses come from a spiritual issue. A lot of times they do, though. But it's the disregard, if you just look at the Hermit reversed, and for a minute, feel into that, the person's not looking into their inner light. They're upside down, hanging, and it's like, it's really just a selfish type of a thing, and they're not looking for spiritual light. So there's no soul searching, there's no introspection. Okay. So there's that. The place that he does have control, has some real actual control, we have the Queen of Wands. So that tells me this is him controlling all of these women who have had children with him. And of course he wants them to all move to Texas and stay in this compound that he created, because the Texas state law there is that child support doesn't go above, I think it's $2,600 or $2,700 a month. So he's sitting in a place of a lack of self-confidence, especially with women. In the past, he's gotten lots of attention. Yeah, we see him. What's hanging over him, where he has no control, with the Nine of Swords, he's not sleeping well. He's having trouble even in the daytime, because you know how it is when a person uses drugs a lot. Their sleep cycles, circadian rhythms, all of that. Is that the way you say it? Is it circadian? I don't know. Your psychological forces don't get balanced out when you don't get sleep. And you don't get sleep when you have massive problems. And he's lost, how much is he? I think he's lost something like $100 billion in Tesla recently, since he joined, with Trump. Since things got out and everybody, on top of all the news about how bad Teslas are and all his lies about how great they would be. Bulletproof windows and all that. And meanwhile, a guy comes up with a hammer and it's like, bong. Or actually, it was just throwing a rock. It's like, well, that didn't work. So anyway, but on a soul level with the Nine of Swords, this can be, and especially tuning into this, the dark night of the soul. And that's because he's 54 years old. He's gone through his Chiron return. As an astrologer, I know that the Chiron return is meant to meet your deepest wounding and work through it and find your deeper gifts. He has not met his wounding, because instead he numbs out with ketamine and who knows what other drugs. So currently he has about 24 lawsuits hanging over him. And, you know, they're charging him and his little dodgy boys with, you know, acting without any legal authority while they're violating all these, you know, privacy laws. So, and what does he do? He reacts to it by trying to get Congress to impeach judges who are calling him out. So, yeah. His near future, more money, you know. I mean, that's the thing. When you're a billionaire, you have more money than you could possibly spend in one lifetime. Internally, well, with the World card, something's going to come full circle. I don't know exactly what, but something. Maybe it's a travel issue. Maybe this has to do with, well, because, you know, he owns the Boring Company. That's it's like trains, right? Underground trains or something. And then also SpaceX. So I'm wondering about that. Because this is travel. But on the deeper levels, he's attracting what he needs to him to come into completion as to his own integrity. And I don't know that he's going to do that. But he's attracting those issues to come full circle. We'll see. I don't think he's going to do anything like that. Externally, yeah, I imagine, you know, he parties a lot, especially with a lot of different women, whoever he can get to hang out with them. His long-term future, he's not going to be looking within. When you get the Two of Swords reversed, you know, this is his lying all the time. He's two-faced. He can't make decisions. He's actually very, very confused. And this is a card of a cheater. When it comes to reverse, a cheater who is dueling all the time with their relationships, especially with women, but also dishonor. So dishonor's coming for him. It may go very well beyond this month. But the outcome for this month is, he really, really tied up in those addictions. If I were to keep going, it's like, I might as well do it up here, I suppose. Having what he wants all the time, anytime, because, you know, when you've got the money, you can pay the people quid pro quo and all of that. But Seven of Cups, if I were to keep going, and then a Ten of Wands, there's an overwhelming amount of darkness and the inability to keep those shell games going, and of course the greed. Let's see what was at the bottom. Yeah, he's having a hard time with balance and teamwork. He's got his dark money, prospects, his dark money players, but nah. That's not good. Let me use the other deck just for fun. It's called Visions of Life by Tarot Ghost Studio. Cards are very flexible, but man, they're big. A little challenging to keep a hold of. Okay, Elon Musk, what is your April? Now, they're trying to say that he plans to step down by the end of May, but he lies, or Elon is saying, I guess he did an interview with, what's his name, Brett Baer over at Lioness News is what I call him. And he's saying he's stepping down by the end of May out of the Trump administration. But he lies as much as Cittadini, so why are we going to believe him? But I'll read on him next month, so not to worry about that. But for this month, for April, for this next month, this upcoming next month, right there. Okay. Stability's the issue. I have to go with the artwork as much as anything because I think this has to do with his little compound in Texas with the women. Oh yeah, Queen of Pentacles coming in as the challenge card. This card reminds me of do you remember Monty Python's movie? Was it The Meaning of Life or The Life of was it The Life of Brian? I can't remember. I just remember the stupid song, "Every sperm is sacred," and it was basically this lady at the sink doing dishes, and a bunch of kids behind her like this, and this baby drops out of her, and she says, "Will you catch that for me, Deirdre?" To her other daughter. It was a big farce on Catholicism, and you can't have you can't have birth control, and you just got to have baby after baby. But yeah, look at that. She's got the rolling pin at the stork. So this is his big challenge. And every time I read on him, it's like the feminine cards come through. So maybe one of them. I know the one that he actually married. The other ones he hasn't married, but maybe Grimes. But maybe not. I can't remember. But the first one, she finally gave up. I think she had 4 or 5 kids with him, and she said it was just the most painful. She divorced him and just did everything she could to get away. But I don't think he has anything to do with those kids, and there's 1 or 2 of them that can't stand him. They're older. Those would have been from that first wife, or his only wife. So okay. What he's sitting in is, he's just dreaming. Dream on. You know what? Those are rocks. Dream on. Those are rocks coming in at you, dude. I don't think women like him. In his past, he's lost his mind. Going after every freaking little penny he could get his hands on. And he actually, maybe he should be looking more at the money that he needs because of all those lawsuits, and it costs a lot of money to buy drugs, I imagine. Oh no. Okay, what's hanging over him is things moving probably more quickly than he can handle, is what I'm guessing there. And I don't allow for reversals with this deck. Whoa, okay. So this has the eclipse energy with this card because it's the 8 of Cups. But in his near future, people only see him with their blinders on because it has to do with money, and he's not really going to be seen because, how do you see somebody and who they truly are when they're just a greedy, greedy bastard and drug addict and controlling? Talk about the worst. The worst of being a cancer, where you're controlling your children and the mother of your children. Talk about a violation of spiritual law. He's supposed to be protecting them and protecting the children. He doesn't do that. He's not protecting. So, and I don't see him, that with the traditional 8 of Cups energy where, you're taking self-responsibility and walking away. I see him getting back who he is. The way he's using his power is to not care at all about anybody other than himself. Internally, 5 of Cups, see the estrangement from the women, and he's probably just not going to be able to speak effectively, or he's dumb enough to go, because we've seen that before, where he's dumb enough to go and, we went on Joe Rogan and smoked pot with him, what the hell, man? All these things are out on video. There's so much proof about who he really is. And it doesn't matter if he's the richest man. And I don't even know if we could consider him the richest man because we don't know how much money Putin takes in. But, richest man on earth. Loser would think of things like that. So yeah, problems, grief. Five of Cups is traditionally grief and regret. But you got to go through the grieving process to move on. Not with this card. Externally, he has someone else who does the brain work for him. Now, he would be the King of Cups because, he's a double Cancer. But because I don't allow for reversals in this deck, I can't say that externally he's bringing in any wisdom. I think he's going to be enlightened as time goes by this month, or April. Oh, and here we have the enlightenment card. Okay, so this is the Sun. This is long term. Long term, he will learn the hard way, because that's what they have to learn the hard way. There's no way they get their lessons the rest of us. Here, maybe if I do it this way, you guys can see the artwork better. Sorry about that. Okay, and then the outcome for this month is bondage. We've got the devil. This is the devil, and this goes with his addictions. Six of Pentacles, compassion. Nah, I doubt he's going to have any compassion going on. I feel like, I don't know. Do you guys know, does he donate much to other countries? Other people, well, yeah, actually, he could donate to all different worlds. I don't know, all different countries. I don't know why I said that. Countries. Maybe this has to do, maybe that was, Freudian slip that brings out some truth where it's possible, because if this were the regular Rider-Waite-Smith, I'd look at it as some kind of quid pro quo or, giving to get situation. But yeah, look at this guy. He has so much compassion. He's just dropping ideas into this guy's hat. Man, this guy's empty. He's so empty. Okay, he's going to have some victory online, but then again, look at that thumb's going down. But they're carrying him to the top, but the thumb's going down. So he's going to be seen, I think, for not having any compassion. And then maybe needs a new start. Justice is coming. King of Swords is coming. Some higher authority than him is coming after him. And then he's just going to have to wait. I think those lawsuits is what's coming after him. Let's see what's at the bottom. Yeah, Seven of Wands. Somebody's going to be pulling the rug out from under him. And then with the marriage card, this is a Ten of Cups. I get this card for Trump a lot. Let's see the eyeballs. And he's carrying her over the threshold, but that's a jail cell up there. We don't have a jail card in the tarot, and it didn't have the Eight of Swords come through. I want more information. I'm not getting what I want. So let's use a Kipper. Or actually, no, I'll use the Lennies. Let's use the Lennies. We do have lawsuits on him. But maybe I will use the Kipper after. I don't know. Let's stick with the Lennies for now. And this won't take long, but we'll get more details about the month. So how's it going to go for him? I mean, it's out there. His dodgy boys, they've been involved in scandals about their ability to work with government systems. That Ed, what's his name? The 19-year-old dude, when he goes, he's supposed to be the senior advisor at the State Department, and, the big balls guy. He was given tech support to a cybercrime gang. That's got to come down on you at some point. So let's see with the Lennies. Ooh, well, the key meanings for this card are money, power, and protection, but it's also a Russia card, right? And there we have with the Tower, that combination there of that high position where he thinks he has protection, the protection to take whatever risks he wants, write whatever laws and things up he wants. I always get the Fox card when I read on him. The Scythe is dangerous conversations, clearing the air with conversations, changes here, dangerous changes. This is my card for the election. Here's one of his baby mamas, and I don't know, I shouldn't call them baby mamas. I don't mean it derogatory, but then again, the ones that didn't marry him, why did they have kids with him? What did they want? They probably thought, oh, he's the richest, smartest man on earth, right? Money doesn't involve intelligence when you've inherited it from your apartheid father. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Again, with the children, and every time I read on him, it's stuff with his. So that causes major stress. It's stuff with his the mothers of his children. What else do I call them? And do not drop a comment bagging on me because I said the words baby mama. Just don't. So Russian contacts with the election. And there's one of his women that know, I don't even want to call them his women because I bet they're all, Grimes is like heartbroken because she never gets to see little X. But yeah, so somebody that she knows, she or some other one of his women who have had his children knows about his guilt. And that's dangerous to him. And he is doing everything he can legally, these two cards are mirroring together, legally to cause problems for her and any other woman that he pays child support to. But then again, if he's keeping little X around with him, he's probably not giving her any child support. Anyway, okay. So this is also Starlink with problems. Starlink servers tied to Russia. Wow, okay. Yeah. Of course Russia uses Starlink. Of course. And China and anywhere else all over the world. That's why he's the global kind of guy. Which is, I'm sure, why we had the world card in that first tarot spread over here. It's all about just the world globally. Okay, so he has power over his reputation, but it's tied to Putin, so because of the tie, right? Anchor ties, and then also this is our card for women. Now, I didn't do a video on like the eclipse energy on him, but it's coming through here because the eclipse was on March 29th, and that of course affects the next 6 months. It gets him through, I think, mid-September, somewhere in September to the next set of eclipses. So everything coming through in this, these three spreads, it has to do with the eclipses. I think that's why we have the moon card come through, but it's also has to do with his the mother of his children and his reputation. And the more that comes out about that doesn't bode well for him. Now, she's up here in this position that could be dangerous to him, and he knows it, like, because she knows about his guilt. She knows about his health addictions and how he hides that. And she is in the power, control up here, and could actually betray him and improve her situation with her children. So I don't think little X is the only one with Grimes. And I don't know for sure if this is Grimes, but it's one of the women who have his children. And they tend to do IVF, so of course it's a lot of twins and triplets, and I think there's some triplets. Or maybe that was just with the first woman. Anyway, yeah. The four corners speak to purity problems that create a painful loss. Or the brackets, if I kind of go this way, let's do it like that. Emotional problems that are out in the public. People see his emotional problems. I posted in the community section, or now it's just called posts. If you go there, I posted this morning the video from him at the inauguration, which shows him high as a kite, rolling his eyes around. And so if you go and look at that, and there's so much of that out in the public. That's why, remember Mike Myers on SNL doing the doing the glitch, Elon's mind glitch. There's something there about that, even though that's not the traditional meaning of the lilies. But it is a card of fatherhood. So he has a painful ending and relationships with his children, and painful loss of connection as a father that he's really guilty of. And the crossover here is whether or not a person takes self-responsibility. No, he doesn't. In the negative sense of this card, he's in a lot of pain. This is his karma. This is his cross to bear. With timing, it's 1 to 6 months. I'm going to say for this month is very painful. As to in the darkness, with his children, and that is causing him problems. Again, this is like, digestive issues with this. Also, of course, the snake is, betrayal. This is somebody who's very toxic, right? And who is it that knows most about the drugs he does? Got to be the women he's been with, right? Yeah. Okay, I think I will use the Kipper really quick because we could probably get some information. Actually, I'll set the intention to get the information about whatever information I can, or with this deck, and whatever intuition comes through as well, about the dodgy boys. So this, because there are 6 people cards in this deck, I'm sure we'll get information about all the people in his life and how they will affect his April 2025, and how they will be affected as well, but mostly how they will affect him, because he has a little cadre of creepy kids. Now they have about 24 lawsuits. Elon, how's your April going to go for you and your dodgy boys? April 2025. There we go. Ooh, maybe some evidence coming out. Well, here's the lawsuits. Here's the complaints and the lawsuits. Okay, that might even have something to do with Congress there. Yeah, the grifting, the distraction, the stress that everybody is feeling. Just because, they're in our systems. This would have to be his mom. She's on his side, I'm sure. Oh, here, I can bring the camera down a little. There, maybe you can see the artwork a little bit better. Hold on. Okay. There we go with Russia, his connection with other countries. Yeah. This is definitely drug addiction and out of a job and very problematic. Whoa. Shoot, now I'm wondering if his mother has an issue. Whoa. Whoa, that card's hanging over him. The fatality card. In this deck, he named it the coffin, like in the Lennies, but it's traditionally the fatality card. Okay. So let's go. I'm going to work over here first because his card came through. Those are my rules. Okay, so those are the traditional cartomancy rules. So his connections to other countries are going to create a painful loss, lots of complaints and investigations into him. These cards hanging over him, this whole top row is weighing down on him. This whole row is coming up behind him, and he is headed towards the past as the only way to resolve his future. Okay, those are directional rules. So yeah, wow. This is, I get the feeling this is Congress. Because of these two cards combined. And maybe usually this is a mother in the person's life, but this could be Tammy Duckworth, this could be, this could be so many different women. This could be Elizabeth Warren. She's been coming after him, of course. But when you get the people cards, they often stand in for many different women, and this would be a woman over 50. So, if you think, it might be so-and-so, you're probably right. And we will all be right with that. So, okay, so what's sneaking up behind him? Well, actually, wait, hold on. Let me tune into her a little more. So the thief card is all about distractions and grifting. And that is something on this woman's mind. So I do feel like it has to do with Elizabeth Warren and somebody else, any other woman that's standing up in Congress and examining the situation, and also maybe even in another country, and supplying some information, giving some information about him. Because what's sneaking up behind him, oh my goodness. I mean, I think in his situation, it's the possibility, people seeing the possibility of his children being impoverished while he is greedy with all of this money, and he doesn't mind risking and spending lots of money and legal, this would be attorneys. This would not be one of the little dodgy boys, because this is my card for attorneys. So he's having to spend, his attorneys are charging him a lot of money. And also, I wonder. Yeah, I'm thinking that there are other lawsuits. I feel like the community card in this situation, in the context of his situation, is the moms and the kids at the compound in Texas. And he's not going to get what he wants. This is a card of spiritual poverty as well. But he's not going to get what he wants, even though he's going to be spending a lot of money legally. And there's tons of evidence that these women have on him, at the Texas compound. And whomever this woman in Congress is as well. I'm sure his mother's on his side, so I'm sure she has communicated to him that, honey, don't worry, you can run to another country. And that's on his mind as he's thinking about any painful loss whenever it comes up. But this is also my card for drugs. So what's hanging over him is, and I don't know if it'll be lethal, but it's an overdose. And then here he is with some support with his father. But to have the despair card knighting with the coffin card, and the despair card knighting with the adjudication card. This deck, they named it adjudication. I put the A in there because it's not a word in this century. But this is the end of the century. This is like it's a deck based in, like the Industrial Revolution, where you have, the have-nots and the haves. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, so I think he controls his father when he gets really down and asks for money if he needs that kind of help. Then again, he has people to collude with him globally and give him money, but it still doesn't make him feel better. And he has all these legal issues hanging over him. Like I said, he uses drugs when he needs to feel better. But, wow, to have this line up here. So this is the past. He's stuck in the past, headed that way. In the future, or like presently, this has to do with maybe there actually, wouldn't it be funny as if there were actually 23 and not 24 lawsuits. I read a couple dozen. I translate that to 24. But anyway, this card is about trials, lawsuits and trials. And maybe this is a judge because of these cards. This might be a female judge who has evidence and knows everything that's going on in his compound in Texas. It doesn't have to be in Congress, but she knows he's grifting. She knows his strategy. She has her own strategy. But then again, here we go with, let's read it in the one way. Okay, so legally, let's stick with legally. Because I kind of don't care anymore about the, kids. I care about the kids, of course, but the compound and all of that, I think I've spoken enough about that. But, this is a card of helplessly waiting. And usually timing, it's a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 months. And again, when you get the gift card next to the expectation card, it's usually about pregnancy, so there might be another kid on the way. But legally, let's get back to the legal situation. This is a card of being watched. So he is being watched as to his actions. And I would say for sure it has to do with women suing him, the women who have had his children suing him, because it's coming right from his inner circle. And they're the ones that are going to end up flipping on him. We've got flippage here to the judge, but other people as well. So I don't think we can put the dodgy boys in the situation of poverty with this card because they came from very wealthy families. But the poverty of spirit for sure is there. Yeah, this connection here to the despair card is that this is just like the Nine of Swords, but it doesn't go away. It is definitely the dark night of the soul. It's a card of being tortured with worry and stress, but he numbs it all out with drugs, and we know where that gets you. And like I said before, I'll just say it for the last time. I see an OD here. It may or may not be fatal. It may, but it's definitely going to put him down for a while, if it's not fatal. So, yeah, I've learned over the years using Kipper, when you get really strong cards, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen. Like, coffin card could just be something really, well, it is indicative of a very, very painful loss. I think that in this case it's a loss of connections with his global partners. But I've learned the hard way that, let's see, like the imprisonment card doesn't necessarily mean the person does get locked up. It might be somewhere down the line. What I can say for sure is that it's a card that always brings out secrets and restrictions. It's like the mountain card in the Lennies. The Lenormand. So anyway, that's just a little Kipper note there. So again, just to reiterate, okay, 4 corners here are important. His dad is going through a painful loss. This also would be Trump in his world, going through a painful loss. They both use drugs. They both deserve to be in the dark night of the soul, and definitely that's there. But Trump has some control over him, of course, and Trump is expecting a lot from him. But then legally, Trump can try to take things away from, the stress off of him. But I don't think it would work. He doesn't have immunity like Trump does. So coming over here to these other corners, we're looking at riskiness, more riskiness to make money, but still in poverty, major poverty when it comes to people who he's really, or he could be close to. He's only a person to get money from, right? So there's that. So on a soul level, he's got to be feeling used and abused. But that's what he does to everyone else, right? So there's that. I'm surprised we don't have our karma card in here. The wheels go round and around, right? It's probably the last one now. No? Where is it? Oh well. I think it's time to just upload this. Here it is. That's my karma card that Jeffrey Thompson named. It's also, I get this card a lot when it refers to AI, because it's like automation. But this is, reminiscent of this deck. It's like the poverty, the poverty of child labor, working under poor lighting conditions. Like, so sad. And that's the kind of, his dad, that's his dad. People working in mines, emerald mines, he doesn't care. Slaves. Has anybody seen, I'm going to say this last thing and then get this uploaded. Has anybody seen Sarah Cooper's video on, I don't know the name of it. If you scroll back through the posts or scroll down back in time, I think I reshared it last week or the week before. So it's sad but funny. Basically comes down to how to buy an election. When you're so wealthy, you can buy slaves. And then, okay, this year, how many slaves? Oh, okay, next year now, how many slaves? And then suddenly, no, you can't buy any more slaves because it's against the law. What? And then they figure out, oh, you can buy elections. And here we are. So, okay, have a really good rest of the weekend, you guys, and take good care. Bye.